Mr. King.
Looking at and hearing the numbers, it's daunting, and it's rather challenging to argue against the numbers when you look at them and you really massage them. And one of the things that we've been trying to do on council is to have our situation in East Cleveland looked at objectively and unbiased from an outside mind, consultants. So last summer we sought out some legal advice and we went and we got Buckley King, who has found us a rather crafty and a great set of consultants, Conway McKenzie, who did the Detroit rebound. And Detroit is, they're rebounding. Right now they're looking at Puerto Rico and working that situation out. So we're not arguing the numbers, and we know that something needs to be done. We want to hear it from an outside source, and we want to hear alternatives other than what's been presented, so that the overwhelming majority of the residents could take comfort in that. Because it's hard to take comfort in a study that comes from someone who wants to basically take you over. They're not going to give you an unbiased study, right? And an organization like McKinsey, they would have an alternative, which is what we would be looking for in order to present to our residents. So we would just like for you to know that and ask for your support on that. This way we can reach more residents, and more residents can buy in and vote with an alternative mind, an alternative thing on it, not just one thing or the other, but have something to vote on.
Are they doing this pro bono?
So
Yeah.
when we went to them last summer, the whole thing was to go to the foundations, Cleveland Foundation, the Gun Foundation, Kresge, and some of the other foundations to seek funding for this study. And see, many of the foundations have funded other studies here in East Cleveland, but again, the overwhelming majority of the residents, when they see a study coming out of Case, or when they see a study coming out of Cleveland State, that's just someone who wants you, giving you a piece of paper that says what they wanted to say. It's not really unbiased opinion. So it would be pro bono based on them raising the funds to do so. And right now, we just got finished writing a letter to present to the foundations saying that council would support the recommendations that come out of the consulting company. So we'd really like to get that moving forward. And we're estimating, based on what our lawyers are telling us, that this could happen fairly quickly if they can get the funding.
Okay, so they're still waiting for the funding now.
They're going out. They've had a interesting time going into foundations because of, and I guess I can say it here, the image of council, the past image, not working together, wanting to hold out, not supporting. Well, this letter we've all signed, saying that yes, we're all in support of this unbiased, uninfluenced study, and that we would support the outcome of it. So we're hoping that as long as, along with support from the mayor and the administration, that they would like this done. We're confident that it'll be funded.
Okay, because you've got until either the end of 2006 or until the $8,200 runs out before you all call it a day.
90 days. What is that?
They'll be able to finish that 90 days.
That's what they say.
That's That's remarkable. Okay, well, I look forward to that.
Well,
Well,
what's the
just-
time period to receive the funding from the foundation?
Pardon me?
The time period to receive funding from the foundation, when do you expect? Are you all approaching the foundation, or
Actually-
Mackenzie is going to the foundation
The
and asking them
lawyers,
to pay?
Buckley King, are going to the foundation. And we said that we would walk in and with them if need be to get the funding to do this study. And they're projecting that the study would take less time and less time to implement than any other measure that's being proposed.
Well, what's the cost of the study?
They're guesstimating maybe 50, 60,000. They can get the study done. And that way we'd have an alternative that people can look at. From a business perspective, the city could be saved. From a business perspective, it's just what do you need to do to save it? How long would it take, and what would the citizens have to go through in order to get it there, right? It can be done, right? There's tons of examples of it around the nation, and we just want that presented, the other side presented to the residents. That's all we're asking for. If there's any other questions, I'd be more than happy to take them. If not, that concludes my report.
Thanks.
Thank
Any
you.
questions? All right. We did the old business. I'm not even going to talk about the financial recovery plan update because
You follow it, right?
we pretty much are.
Yeah.
I mean, really. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, we'll just have to look at what 2016 ends up at and then go from there. We know if things hold forth as anticipated, as we know now, we'll have $8,200 in cash at the end of the year, which won't cover the next payroll that will be coming in January of 2017. New business, none. Anything else for the good of the order that I have forgotten? Anything that you'd like to bring up?
I got something for you.
I would too, but
Can I ask Mr. King one more question? What happens if the foundations don't agree to fund this study? What will council do then?
What will council do then? Can I get back to you with that? I don't see why the foundation wouldn't fund it. It is critical that something like this be funded, not just for East Cleveland, but there are a number of other cities around this county that are staring down the same path. So something like this would be helpful as a kind of roadmap.
That's just my question. I know they've gone through their funding year. I'm pretty familiar with the foundation, so.
Good question.
I just would like to know what happens.
I'll be
What's
sure
the
to raise
plan?
that with the
If
president.
you can't fund a study, you've got to do something. You've got to act.
Absolutely.
This suggests to me kicking the can down the road, but what happens when, if the foundations state, we've done all that we're willing to do?
That's a good question. I think a good question, a fair question with that is, if you get to the ballot, there's just one option, and it fails. Then what? I think we need more than one option.
Just ask me about your plan.
okay. Setting the next meeting date. June 6th. Because because I'm thinking we've been meeting every 6 weeks. You'll be out of town.
The information's the same.
June 6th?
I cannot do June 6th, I have a meeting.
Okay. June 8th?
I can't do June 8th.
You can't do June
I'm
8th.
sorry.
Yeah, that's the kind of summertime.
Can we do, yeah, I know. Well, when is, Memorial Day is what? It isn't the 30th, is it?
Yes.
It is. See, that's why I tried to stay away from that one. June 1st?
I'll be here for that.
June 1st?
That works for me.
1 o'clock?
Yeah. Can we do that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. June 1st at 1 o'clock.
Okay, I'll have April's financials, but not May by then.
Yeah,
So you guys
that's-
have 1 month, just so.
That's
Okay.
fine. Because I think as we go further in June, we get to more summertime complications. So. Plus some end of fiscal years too, huh?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, okay. All right.